it's Angela Berg. Welcome to Healthy Happy Hour. We're glad to have you with us. Thanks for giving us your time. Back with me today is my friend Amy to talk again about some oils as we continue our work on obesity, particularly childhood obesity, and ways that we can support that. So I asked Amy today to come and talk particularly about oils that can help manage appetite, because sometimes we just think we need a prescription for everything, and there are some food and smell ways to help manage our appetite. So Amy, tell me what oils you brought to talk about today.
I know, it really is interesting to me that oils truly can have an effect on your body the way that they do, all just coming from the earth. So first we've got cinnamon bark. Cinnamon is such an amazing oil. It is fiery, right? It is hot, it is spicy. And so you want to be careful with the cinnamon oil, putting it like directly under your tongue. Some people do that. You're like, that's, be careful in some private areas.
So is this one of those we want to do the toothpick? To even put it maybe in a tea or something so that we're not overbearing.
Yes, you don't want to be overbearing with cinnamon, because this is cinnamon bark, so it's actually coming from the bark of cinnamon. And it is really good for blood sugar. It really it's good for balancing all those sugars out, and you can use it in like a hot tea. It's great in a hot tea. It calms your stomach, it's soothing, and it does help to balance those blood sugars, especially when you're kind of jittery or anything like that. It's very calming. So cinnamon is such a calm, if you think about it, like cinnamon, that aroma is just a calming aroma, and it's calming to your nervous system, which is, again, good for your blood sugar levels. So that's
I was going to say, there's some significant statistics and research coming out about the benefit of it in managing your blood sugar. So I wouldn't be surprised if down the road we don't also find, because it's a warm oil, if we don't find some research coming out that it may help actually fire up the metabolism a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if that comes to surface.
And you can also dilute this, by the way, and put it on the back of your neck for your blood sugar.
Oh, very good.
That's another thing for your blood sugar, is to put it on the back of your neck, but make sure you dilute it because it is hot.
Yes, yes.
You will get red.
Remember that coconut oil or a jojoba oil or some sort of a carrier oil to dilute them down before contact, particularly with those of us that are a little bit paler on the sensitive skin side. That's really important. What else do you have?
And then I've got actually the Slim and Sassy, which is in the process right now of being switched over by doTERRA. This is doTERRA specific. They actually are now switching over to the MetaPower, which is their new MetaPower program. And it's a whole metabolic program to help to balance your metabolism. So this, like I said, it was Slim and Sassy, and now I believe the name is MetaPower. So the MetaPower, they actually have a whole system that's got collagen, it has electrolytes, and it has appetite, I don't want to necessarily say it's a suppressant, but it helps to balance things out if you take it right before a meal so that you don't get overstuffed.
Yeah. Maybe just curb your enthusiasm for eating so fast that we don't know what hit us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It kind of helps, it helps soften the blow, so to speak.
Yes.
So it's a very, very, very good system. So the MetaPower system from doTERRA, if you want a well-rounded.
That way they do the blend for you. That's what I like too about these blends with doTERRA, is they already do the blend for you, and they're all safe and ingestible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, the great thing about the MetaPower, because it is a new program, I don't have the whole program here with me. Maybe next time I'll bring the whole program here. But it does have all of the elements for the whole day, from morning to night. Perfect. So you've got, like I said, you have the electrolytes, you have the collagen, you have everything you need to stay balanced throughout the day and night so that your metabolism doesn't get out of whack at any time. So that's really good. And then the last oil I have here is grapefruit. Grapefruit is, I don't know, I love grapefruit.
I would like that even in the water, just to flavor my water. That would be another fruit flavor I would do in water.
Yeah, it helps with bloating.
Oh my gosh.
So when you do overeat.
Important. Yeah, when you do overeat, that'll help you calm it down faster.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what grapefruit is great for. You get that, your stomach's just kind of like, ooh, what's going on? Then throw some grapefruit in water and there you go. The thing about essential oils is you don't have to wait for them to work. They're pretty instant. You know, you can tell almost immediately when you ingest them. And like I said, make sure that you're using a therapeutic grade ingestible oil when you put them in water or anywhere, because you don't want to get something that's not going to be healthy.
Reminder for the people who might not like the flavor or appreciate the flavor of grapefruit, that those capsules, and just putting a couple drops in a capsule is a fabulous way to cheat that and still get the benefit of it without having to taste it while you're drinking water.
And mixing it with coconut oil and rubbing it on your feet. Putting it on your arm, just rubbing it like you could smell like grapefruit and it smells so good.
Yes. I think we underestimate what all we can do on the bottom of our feet regularly. So Amy, as always, it is so helpful to have you here and talking about oils. And essential oils, I think, have such an incredible role in our weight and wellness management, as really is our focus right now. And I appreciate you being here so much. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with another segment about pediatric obesity with my friend Pam Long. Hi, welcome back to Healthy Happy Hour. I'm Angela Berg, joined with my great friend Pam Long for another episode for us to talk about obesity. Particularly, of course, we're focusing a lot of attention on families and children, but this time we really want to talk about activity and planning and the impacts on obesity. So again, you'll have slides up showing BMI is the key measurement of whether you are in an obesity class or not, and what class of obesity you are in. And Mitch will have that slide up for you to be able to decide or determine it. There also is easy ways to Google putting in your height and weight and age and coming up with what your BMI is, so that you know where you are on that spectrum. But an important part of managing our health wellness, including maintaining a healthy weight, is planning and the amount of our physical activity. Pam and I have had it just since the start of the year, talks about creative ways for families to increase their activities together for physical activity. But again, going to the main Let's Go program, I got a couple of ideas to kind of expand on that further for our discussion, Pam. So one of the first points that they have is that physical activity is one of the most important strategies for health risk reduction in somebody with obesity. We've talked about that a little bit, about the kind of things that go through. Kids can even develop high blood pressure, diabetes, those things. Will you talk a little bit more about those health risks and kind of how activity helps even curb appetite maybe a little bit?
So I can definitely say when we have a child, when I see a child and there is a connection with lack of physical activity and their weight for age, so their BMI for age. So there is definitely that. And kids, I've noticed, if you just ask them, what do you want to do? They will tell you, I want to learn how to swim or skate, or get a bike. It is definitely a way for them to get their mind off of food. Break the habits, as we talked about, and get them into a good place in adulthood. Get them physically active every day. That's really important. There is definitely a correlation with kids not moving and obesity, for sure.
Yes. And activity, physical activity and exercise does such amazing things for the body with the endorphins that are released, all of our feel-good chemicals. A body in motion stays in motion and feels good, as well as those endorphins take your mind off food. Your pleasure center is satisfied with those, and so your pleasure center is not seeking the sugar and those simple carbohydrates for their satisfaction. And so that's so important. How about muscle cells produce anti-inflammatory compounds and can decrease the risk of essentially every comorbidity of obesity? I think people don't realize that we can, in lab data, when you go to the doctor and they are drawing labs for your CBC and your chemistries just to look at overall health, you can show high inflammatory markers, high platelets, high CRPs, just from carrying around too much adipose tissue. And so talk about kind of your experience with that, maybe, and even some of the eating disordered kids that you've had experience with.
You know what? You need that lean muscle mass. I mean, it helps for immunity purposes. It helps you fight off things. You need that, you need that nutrition, that positive nutrition, concentrated sweets, sodas. You want to have a balanced diet of proteins, vegetables. There definitely is a correlation, and you want to move. Physical activity, making those muscles move. A lot of those kids who are laying around, not doing much, lots of adipose tissue, not so much muscle mass, I see a lot.
They also are the kids that have more, and this is going to be a whole nother episode that we'll be able to do, they have more anxiety, more chronic pain, and unexplained pain. Pain is very exaggerated for even the smallest of injury, because the body is so deconditioned. I think it is such an important factor, as well as that avoiding high blood pressure. It's amazing to me the amount of kids that I see as a pediatric nurse practitioner that are already having borderline high blood pressure. That kills off kidneys, and it's the silent killer, we call it, in adult patients. So seeing that they're already heading down a road of shortening their lifespan just crushes me. So the third major thing on the physical activity slide is that one strong predictor of physical literacy in a child is how often they engage in physical activities with their parents or are supported by their parents to engage in physical activity. So I guess what I feel like I mean by physical literacy, and hope that it's what they mean or that we're on the same page, is that they are understanding and being in tune with their body and their signals. I think in our last episode we talked a little bit about hunger versus thirsty. The thirsty isn't always just up here and hunger in here. You can get thirsty in here. And so talk a little bit about your feelings and experience with that phenomenon.
Sure. Physical literacy to me, I mean, I guess you could take it as well. To me, I grew up with a very physically active lifestyle. My dad, very physically active. That is all I know. That's the life that I know. I think starting that early too, just like reading. You want to get them to be literate. You have to start young. It's very important to have that in your daily routine, and it has to start as soon as you can. And it comes from the parents encouraging that type of behavior.
Yes. We have to get off the couch ourselves as a parent and go for the walk. Gosh, it's a beautiful day outside. People don't fly kites anymore. I had such a chuckle just last week. We had a pretty windy day here, and I was on my way home and went through town instead of the freeway and went past a park where I actually had to pause for a moment and just appreciate that I saw a mom and dad with their two little kids out there flying kites. And I'm like, gosh, you just don't see that anymore. People just don't go out, the running to get it to lift up on the wind, and even that is physical activity. You're not just standing there. You have to work at getting that kite up there and keeping it up there.
For some reason, families think that physical activity is going to the gym.
Yes.
That is not where, it's just not going to the gym and getting a membership. That's kind of the last place that you should be going with your families. I mean, it truly is. Anything that's free is the best way to go.
That's right. That's right. And I remember, gosh, in the old days, we used to ride our bikes from sun up until the street lights came on. You were safe to still be out and you were allowed. And the rule was when the street lights came on, you had to be home. So you were probably lucky. I don't even remember if we regularly skipped lunch. I'm imagining we did because we were just go, go, go. So let's talk a little bit about meal planning. We've talked about before meal prep. One of our future episodes, we're hoping to be able to do cooking demo and starting to share some recipes that are healthy modifications to recipes. But I was sharing with you earlier that I am participating in another community event on doing self-care Saturdays for people going through health care challenges. And one of the things that teen children brought up is that they feel like they're at the mercy of school. The kids told me that every time they depend on lunch at school, they may skip or make bad decisions because they're at the mercy of what's at school. And so I did actually get the kids participating in that event to consent to meal prepping, and we're going to do a Saturday meal prep where we're going to meal prep the lunches they're going to take. So I know we've talked previously about meal prepping and planning and involving the kids in the shopping and things, but planning meals ahead so that you keep food choices healthy can be cost effective and reduce stress and also save time. Talk about your experience and how you usually educate parents to think about meal planning.
Well, it doesn't have to be super complicated. I think if you just keep it simple, start there. Take advantage of frozen items. Learn how to cook with those. They're very inexpensive. You can start with canned stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Just clean off the chickpeas. Just use your colander. Clean off the salt, sodium. You're going to see how inexpensive this will become, and you're kind of going to be shocked. It also shows you what portion sizes are, true portion sizes. And I think when you see what true portion sizes are, it kind of opens up this new world of, oh my gosh, I've been overeating. And one other thing is, if these teenagers know what's going to be for lunch, but they like one item on the tray, but they don't like another, they can say, okay, well, there's going to be pizza, and I don't really like that salad, but I like the pizza, so maybe we'll just do a salad meal prep. That could be a potential, to assist them eating a more nutritious meal that day.
That's a great idea. That's great input, and I'll remember that when I pick what we're going to cook for meal prep for that group. How about home cooking gives you more control over food quality and portion sizes? You just talked about that. Food quality, though, is where I think really one of the things, again, as we talk about high blood pressure and the exposure to salt. So canned vegetables may be what you have the access to, or don't have the availability to do frozen instead of canned. That is a really good point, that we can reduce the sodium content, because reading those labels is alarming at how much in order for that whole process of canning to happen. So that's an important part of food quality. How about taking the time to gather a list of meals that your family enjoys can give everyone a chance to participate in the planning process?
Absolutely. They have access to their favorite meals at school. You can make them at home. Why not? USDA has a great Meatless Monday recipes. Every Monday they will email you a wonderful, inexpensive, very easy to make meal. They have tons of recipes on there. Using those types of opportunities to seek out and create more of a family atmosphere is what is great. If you have a vegetarian teenager, if you have somebody who wants pizza, find a better alternative.
Will you say that website one more time, whose website that is for
USDA,
recipes?
and it's Meatless Monday, and it's a campaign that they have, and it's so much fun. I love it. That's how I learned how to make a black bean and sweet potato quesadilla.
Ooh,
Easy
That
peasy
sounds
lemon
divine.
squeezy. Like, I love it.
Hey, maybe that's going to have to be on our first
So good.
cooking demo. That'll be our first recipe. How about the inspiring creativity in the kitchen, because you spend time looking at new recipes can be fun. That's another family. You talk so much about involving the kids in the shopping too, because they become involved in. I always think if we can garden, which is a really difficult thing here in Las Vegas, if we could garden, it blows my mind sometimes that kids don't know where these things actually grow out of the ground from, that carrots grow under the ground, or that, how these plants look is mind-boggling to me. They don't know that apples actually come off of trees, because they think it all comes out of the grocery produce section. So those are all important things if you have the opportunity. And choosing a few main dishes of the week is a good place to start. I think that that ties into the next one about making a double batch of your favorite healthy meals. Using half and then freezing the other half can help, so that you've got something quick and easy on busy nights. Do you have favorite recipes of things that freeze well to suggest?
My mom is I'm Costa Rican, so my mom, when she comes and visits, does black beans. She will make me a lot of black beans, and so I will have them with rice, and then I'll puree them. I'll defrost, or I can have them with tacos, with whatever, and then sometimes I will do pita bread and I'll puree them. So I can do a few things with them, or I'll do celery sticks and I'll dip them. So beans are my ultimate favorite thing to freeze.
Oh, good.
Ultimate.
I know chili is something that is a favorite of my mom. So any soup. So any soups we have a tendency to freeze, and then she loves being able to just microwave those. So that is an easy peasy thing too. And then theme nights. This kind of goes into your Meatless Mondays. Theme nights are a great way to get kids involved with soup night, taco night, breakfast or dinner, and Meatless Monday, they say.
Yes.
So what other kind of themes? I love like Taco Tuesday.
Sure.
Although I could make Taco Tuesday every day and I would eat tacos every day, but what other kind of suggestions do you have of theme ideas?
So, I mean, utilize that calendar. If you see that it's summertime, campfire, okay, we can't go camping, but what do they do camping? Hot dogs. So you can do, ballpark, let's do a ballpark day. What do they typically serve at ballparks? Like, we can do a better version of, air fried French fries or sliders. I don't know, just take whatever's going on in that month and just elaborate on it.
Or even like baked potato bars. I would
So
love to
much
have
fun.
a baked potato. When we were much smaller of a clinic, we used to cook lunch every Thursday for the provider meetings, to sit down and go over care conferencing. And that was one of my favorites, was to do baked potatoes and then just bring all the fixings. And what a fun time to have conversation too, and be able to eat slowly because you're conversing and having a good time. My gosh, Pam, I could keep talking to you all day long, but I sure appreciate you coming, and we sure appreciate you sharing your time with us, and we hope this information has been valuable for you. Healthy Happy Hour is all about health and wellness, and trying to provide good information to you that is evidence-based, healthy suggestions and ways to support you. Please make sure that you message us and let us know if there are topics you want us to include in future episodes. And we will call it a wrap for today, and wishing you great wellness and healthy time until next month. We'll see you then. Stay healthy.
It's the state of the national health.